Sono lieto di poter rievocare in poche parole le esperienze delle prime trasmissioni radiotelegrafiche a grandi distanze da me felicemente eseguite attraverso l'Oceano Atlantico il 12 dicembre 1901.
Holy snapping bra straps.
It's a podcast. Republic of Avalon Radio. It's 0 hours Avalon Standard Time. Republic of Avalon Radio.
The best radio in the whole wide world!
You're with the roar!
Republic of Avalon Radio, you are with the roar, and I am Jim Fiddler. This is episode 96 of Republic of Avalon Radio, coming very close now to that episode 100 that we just can't do anything about. It's gonna happen, folks. It is coming. It is looming large. So, make sure that you write in your calendars September 30, Erin's Pub, Water Street, St. John's, Newfoundland, Republic of Avalon. Make sure you write in 8:30 p.m. Make sure you make a note to yourself that there's no door charge or no cover charge at the door, nothing like that. It's free. And everybody is welcome. Now, of course, if too many people show up, we're going to have to start getting really snobby and just only permitting Roarcore people in and drive all the riffraff out. But we don't anticipate that huge a crowd. So, but you never know. Come to think of it, the capacity isn't really all that huge. So I would say you would probably want to get there early. As I said, we're kicking things off at 8:30. You might want to just get yourself in there and get yourself straightened away at 8. Especially if you really want to be sure to have a seat. If for whatever reason you got a bum knee, the old football injury or whatever the case may be. So I mean, if you don't want to end up standing around, come a little early and get settled. Also make note that there's going to be great music. Dave Panting will be filling out the bulk of the entertainment. Dave Panting, formerly of Figgy Duff and Rollins Cross and all kinds of great stuff. One of God's musical gifts to Newfoundland, for sure. I hope he doesn't hear me say that. But no, it's definitely true. So, but there will be other people as well. Nothing confirmed quite yet. We're just in the process of confirming the other performers. But they certainly will be people that you have heard on the Roar before. 9 chances out of 10, I would say. So, over that span of 99 episodes, you've heard a few people either just saying hello, or you've heard them in the background playing while we were at the pub, or we've actually even had them on the show and done interviews with them and so on. So you'll be hearing some of those folks as well. I'm going to be doing a performance there. I'll be getting up and playing a set, and we'll be doing an actual recording of the show. at the pub. So that is something to be a part of. That's the thing. September 30th, 8:30 official p.m. Erin's Pub. Be there or be square. We also have we've told you about this, I guess, but just a little reminder that we have the Republic of Avalon Radio iPhone app. So if you have an iPhone, an Ipod Touch, or an iPad, get on into that app store and look for the Republic of Avalon Radio iPhone app and get that. You will enjoy it. So this episode, we are finishing off the little two-part festival thing, as the title of the episode indicates. Festivale 2, as opposed to the last one was Festivale 1. So we're going to take a little stroll downtown, run into a couple of people along the way, and then we have a chat with a few people. Afterward, we have a chat with Julie and Robert from the French Cultural Network. We speak with Don and Tom Chirac from Kansas. We talk to Newfoundland fiddler Danette Eddy, no relation, and Arthur O'Brien of the Navigators, and just all kinds of fun and frolics, basically, in the background at the 2010 post-festival bash, post-St. John's Folk Festival bash. So strap on in and enjoy. You are listening to Republic of Avalon Radio.
This is Newfoundland's first podcast. You're with the roar.
Republic of Avalon Radio on your iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch.
Really?
Available now in the iTunes App Store.
Right on.
Get it today.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Roger Hodgson, and you're listening to Republic of Avalon Radio.
When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful. A miracle, oh, it was beautiful, magical. And all the birds in the trees, well, they be singing so happily, oh, joyfully.
Republic of Avalon Radio.
Radio for lazy people who don't want to do nothing.
You're with the roar.
You are. Absolutely, you are. You are with the roar. And so are we. Welcome aboard. I'm Jim Fiddler, and with me is
Moi.
the lovely Miss Lily.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Roar.
Yeah. We are carrying on with this whole festival in kind of festive mode by going to the sort of the post-festival bash that we have every year, or that they have every year. And so we're just on our way now to go down and do that, take part in the fun and the frolics, and hopefully run into a few people that we can bring to you. We don't know who's going to be there, but a lot of us musician-type people and all that, so you just never know who you're going to hear. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's not very often that all musicians congregate in the one place, because usually they're all scattered about playing
in different places. And so we've got several of them in the one room here tonight, and hopefully that will bode well for you guys.
Yes, we're looking forward to it.
We might exchange a few CDs. There might be some people I haven't seen in a while, and they might have a new CD that I don't have, and I have a new one that they don't have, so we might do some CD swapping, and also whoever we talk to, if they're cool with us playing a track from their record, we might do that. Now, this is all totally unknown to me right now. I don't know if we're going to be doing this or not. I could be just like talking through my hat, you know?
Talking through your hat.
Which I do sometimes.
That's a another one of those expressions, isn't it? Like off the cuff.
On the cuff and off the fly.
Talking through your hat.
Yeah, that was a recent episode, On the Cuff and Off the Fly. On the Cuff, Off the Fly, it was called. Just because it's ludicrous. What does it mean, on the cuff or off the cuff and on the fly and off the fly and all that? Well, I just bought a new app in the App Store for our Ipod Touch, and it's wicked. It's a multi-track recorder / mixer. You know, you wouldn't record an album. Well, I suppose somebody's going to record an album with one of these days. But it's a multi-track recorder mixer with a built-in metronome and drum machine. And you can record all on separate tracks and mix them. You can record in mono or stereo for each track, and then mix them together, pan them, I suppose, you know, as you want, and then you can just like save that to it'll put that into mix the multi-tracks into a 2-track master, and after that's done, you can take that master and share it. You can email it to somebody, or I mean, it's for a songwriter. Oh my God, just to have on your iPod Touch or on your iPhone, to have a little recording studio with you wherever you go, and you have ideas, like you might want to lay down your rhythm guitar, and then you might want to do your lead vocal, and then you know.
Here comes that tree again.
Okay.
I'm gonna put you out on the.
We'll watch out for the tree.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, so you can just, you know, lay down your little melody that you have in mind for it. You know, you've got the sort of strummy, rhythmy bit, but there may also be a melodic lick or solo, you know, a guitar solo. Or you could just do, if you wanted, you could do guitar on one track. I think it's a 4-track, so you could do like guitar on 1, banjo on 2, bass on 3, and vocals on 4. And just mix them together so that nothing is too loud or too low, and just fly it on over. I mean, you could be just doing this, it could be just an idea. You could be in a hotel room or whatever and just sort of have an idea, and it allows you to work. I suppose you could get tricky too. It might only be a 4-track, but what if you were to export your master, you know, your 2-track mix, your stereo mix? I wonder, could you bring that up in you know, wipe the project, mix down the 2, maybe. Then you'd have everything you just did on track 4. Then you could record on tracks 1 and 2 and 3 again, and then mix all that together and put that down. There probably is a way with this to do more than 4 tracks.
Yeah.
I would say.
Anyway, it's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Talk about it, the world's smallest recording studio.
Well, it's pretty incredible. I never cease to get amazed. You know, I understand people say, oh, you know, fuddle-duddle, you know, iPod Touch, iPhone, blah, blah. I can understand that. And that's, you know, for the most part, people just not knowing. Or they've maybe just, like, had a look at it and, you know, they've just got, like, a reason that they just don't want to like it. Whatever. I can understand. We have these prejudices sometimes.
I think
we're all guilty of that.
Yeah, and I think sometimes, too, you have bad experiences with other pieces of gear.
Yeah.
And after a while, you look at this thing and think, this is useless. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't work very well, and there's really no useful things that I can do with it. But the iPod Touch I've never seen anything like it.
I'm telling you seriously, folks, a lot of you listening to me right now don't need anything else. You don't need a desktop computer. You know, a lot of people just don't. If all you want to do is email, internet, Facebook, Twitter, music, video, movies, notes,
Alarm clock.
you know, everything, every kind of alarm clock and weather and timers and to-dos and
GPS. You can get
GPS.
on it.
just
barcode readers,
all kinds of stuff. I mean, a lot of you people would probably get more use out of an iPhone or an iPod Touch than you currently get out of your desktop.
Yeah.
You know?
And certain things we notice too that are quicker and easier to do on the iPod Touch than it is to go, you know, to a website or, you know, like.
Yes, the Bonzo Dog Band stuff. Yeah. So I mean, honestly, I've never been one of these, you know, Apple freaks. You know, I've used Macs in the past. I've used Mac. I've used Linux of various flavors and Windows of various flavors. I don't really have I like Linux. I like the idea of open source, an open source operating system. So if I had to pick a favorite, I would say it would probably be that, something like Ubuntu, something like that. But it's horses for courses, really. Different strokes for different folks. I would say anybody who just wants to use a computer, you're not a real geek, you just want a good, reliable computer that's going to be safe and secure and run smoothly and reliably and do everything you want in a fairly intuitive kind of way, I'd say you're better off with a Mac. For a lot of business purposes, probably better off running Windows, some version of Windows 7, for example. But here's the point. You could quite literally have a wireless router, and you can get these kind of external hard drives that actually operate as little servers. You could have that hard drive. Of course, you need a computer, I suppose, to fill it up. But you could fill that thing up with all your music and movies and everything, and then just have the desktop there. I mean, gee whiz, you could even just use the box, the Windows box, or it doesn't even have to have Windows on it. It could have Linux on it or anything. Free, just some old clunky box you got, some old clunky computer. It's not really good for much. Just install Ubuntu on it, and all you're really using it for, pretty much, is the odd time you might want to do some extensive typing, or to transfer files over to your hard drive that you have hooked up to your router. But aside from that, all your day-to-day use, your email, your internet, your Facebook, your Twitter, you can even listen. I have an application on the Ipod Touch called Orb Live, which gives me access to all our music library. We've got like a terabyte drive with all our music and everything on there, videos, music, everything. And we have access to that not just inside our house over the Wi-Fi, with the wireless router, but anywhere in the world, as long as we're online. So if we're at a bed and breakfast in, Perth, Australia, and they have Wi-Fi, so we're online, we can check our email. We can also just open Orb Live and just play our own music back at home, in our house.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Definitely.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, all the goofing around, I'll tell you, I really, really cannot stand iTunes on the Windows platform. I hear it's better on the Mac side, because of course it is an Apple application that was ported over to Windows. And ports like that don't always tend to go 100% well. And some people would say maybe Apple doesn't necessarily want it to work all that well on Windows because they want to attract more people over to the Mac. But I mean, a little bit of a conspiracy theory there, maybe. I don't know. All I do know for sure is, as much as I hate iTunes, I love the iPod Touch and the iPhone. I am not one, you've heard me over the years, you know, you all who've been listening for a while, and I'm not really much for bandwagons or, you know, being members of clubs, and I'm a Mac guy or I'm a Windows guy or anything like that. But I got to tell you, I'm an iPod Touch guy. Yeah, it's for like a couple of $100. You've probably got all the computer you'll ever need, and you'll actually be able to use it. You won't need to go get a computer degree to figure out how to use it. Everything just works as easily as you could ever imagine. It's amazing. Isn't it?
It really is. I think it's only
Sinking
recently
in.
that I'm starting to see all the possibilities and how useful it really is.
Well, I think with you too, it's a matter of using it, but not just using it when you need to use it, but actually poking around, opening all of the various apps we got on there, open them up and have a look, and you know, some of them won't be of any consequence to you, but you know, just do a little bit of exploring, and I think you'll be immensely impressed, as I am.
I'm sure. Well, Skype is very useful on there too.
Well, there you go. I mean, just having Skype on that phone, because we have the Skype out, we have a number. We pay, I don't know, like $35, $40 a year. We have calling all over North America. So with that, with the Skype on the iPhone, on the iPod Touch, I don't have to use my computer to do Skype. It's much easier with the iPod Touch. And even from an accessibility perspective, it's better than on the PC. It's very easy to do things, and to, like, if you want to listen to your voice messages, things like that, it's all very easy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. That's the other thing. These things come with speech built into them. I don't know if you all knew that, but in the past, the situation has been that if people went out and bought a computer and wanted to be able to use it as a blind person, you would have to go out then and spend like hundreds or more than $1,000 to just to be able to use the computer, because you'd have to buy a screen reader for it and install that. But the not only the new Macs, but the iPhone and the iPod Touch, and I think the iPod Nano, all come accessible out of the box. So when we bought this iPod Touch, basically the day we bought it and brought it home, I was using it. I didn't have to go and spend over $1,000 to get it talking. It comes built in. And because it's built in, it's part of the operating system. So it's native code. It's under the hood with the operating system. It's not. There's no sort of clunky incompatibility issues going on.
Yeah.
And
Exactly. You get around that iPod like nobody's business. You can navigate
Well, why
that
wouldn't
thing
I?
better than me.
well, you know, why wouldn't I? It's great. Yep. So, what's the thing coming up? Is it
The thing?
the overpass?
Oh, not quite yet.
Not quite yet.
We're getting there.
Okay. So anyway, it's been a good weekend. We've had some nice times with some friends. Yes, indeed. We had Rod and Dave,
Yeah.
Michel and Carole. All of those four back. Was there anybody else?
No, that was it.
Okay.
It was just 6 of us.
Yeah. After the pub last night, had a really nice time. Just had a couple of our beers that we made. We listened to some music. The guys wanted to hear some of my music that they never heard before, some of the stuff that's not released on anything yet. And they really sincerely seem to really like it, so that's quite encouraging. And they were honest, you know? It wasn't, they weren't just trying to flatter me or afraid to hurt my feelings or whatever. They really sincerely, I think they really sincerely liked it.
Yeah.
So
I think they were blown away, really.
good encouragement, you know? Good encouragement for a fellow like me. That's something that you guys should never underestimate. You know, it doesn't matter who it is. Your mom cooks a nice meal. Make sure to tell her. A carpenter comes by, does some work, and they do good work. Tell them. And in terms of us musician types, writing songs and composing music and recording and releasing CDs for everybody to listen to. If you ever get the chance, you get a CD, and there's some way on the back, some website. Now we're under the overpass. Yeah. If there's anything, look on the back of the CD, and if there's a website, email, whatever there, use it and let the person know, or let the group know, whatever, that you appreciate their music, and tell them keep it up, and tell them even a little bit what you like and why.
Yes.
And some of your insights, perhaps. They might be thinking, quite often we do things, we write songs that have lyrics in them, or we might have a concept, a song might be about something, or even the graphics or whatever. And as far as we're concerned, we can go on for the longest time just thinking that nobody in the world has noticed it, whatever the thing is, you know?
Exactly. It always is amazing when somebody takes the time and says that they like it. Even, you know, with the show, people that feedback. Feedback is great, yeah.
You know, not just doing something like this, but music. You might think, oh, so-and-so, they don't want to hear from me. You know, why does Suzanne Vega want to hear from me, or whatever? But you'd be surprised when you send her an email, when you go to her website and send an email through saying that, you know, hey Suzanne, I think you're one of the best things that's ever happened musically in my life. I love your songwriting. I love da-da-da-da-da, whatever. Keep it up. You know, all the best. Live long and prosper, whatever. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to be quite surprised when they get an email back from Suzanne Vega saying, you know what, I was just kind of wallowing around my house, having a cup of coffee, thinking that I was maybe somewhat washed up and there was nobody out there who cared anymore, and I got your email and you made my day. You just never know.
For sure. I don't think any effort is you know, every effort is meaningful. Put it that way. That's what I'm trying to say.
Every sentence meaningful, though? Every effort to make a sentence meaningful?
Yeah, really.
Okay. More tomfoolery here. What is it? Scaffolding.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so seriously, folks, I mean, I'm telling you from my perspective as, you know, someone who does a show like this, whether it's called a podcast or internet radio or whatever, you know, we're creating this content and putting it out to you. And this is all for free. I mean, this is hundreds of hours of music and talk and interviews and people and places. And, you know, we do it in such a way that we always say on the, at the end of the liner notes, I almost said, the show notes, we always say best listened to on headphones. And there's a reason for that, because we do this whole show in stereo. And I do it at, this might not mean anything to you, but I do it at 128K MP3 stereo, and I go through various means in the studio of processing the files, you know, audio processing, so that they come out as good MP3s instead. I've heard some bad 128K MP3s, put it that way, but I did a lot of experimentation with that, and the way I'm going about rendering these 128K MP3s gives you a very good 128K MP3. And so I mean, all of that stuff is there. But then, you know, there's the CDs that you make to you as a musician. I mean, that's what I am, number one. And, you know, I do this thing here, this Republic of Avalon Radio, as just something to kind of to be doing some radio is what it's really all about. It's just a way for me to do radio. And I always loved radio in all forms, as I talk about in several episodes. Episode 1 was the big one, I think, where I kind of really got down to the details of it all. But yeah, I just love radio, so I'm doing this here. Anyway, what I'm saying is, we really appreciate your feedback. I know, hearing from other podcasters that are feeling, they're creating all this content and they're feeling a bit lonely. Maybe people aren't really getting in touch with them. They might be loving the show and they just never let the person know. And then the person just fades away and just stops doing it. So you can't underestimate that little, just telling somebody that you appreciate what they're doing.
Positive feedback is always.
Yes, and I mean, we have a tip jar on the website. It's you can go and click and donate whatever you want, from $1 to $1 million, whatever. Because we do have costs, we have to pay for server, for bandwidth and storage space and equipment upkeep and hard drives and storage and all kinds of things. And we're not rich. I mean, that's another thing. A lot of people think that musicians, when you're on TV and the radio and stuff, well, you must be rich, but we're certainly not rich, folks. And there we go. If you see fit, that's another way to show your appreciation. Also, buying the CDs, you can find on our website.
Do you need stuff at the store?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, not just for us, anybody else. I've heard other podcasters, we have a tip jar there. Many podcasters do. And it's very nice when people go and drop something in the tip jar. I mean, I remember one time we were just about to go out and somebody had gone and plunked $100 into the tip jar.
Yeah, wow.
And just said, here, have a nice weekend.
And people have called Erin's and left a little tab there for us.
Yeah. But it's just really nice. And I'm not. This isn't us just trying to, get you guys to go and put money in there or whatever.
It's definitely not our main purpose.
No, I'm just saying, in general, in life, it's very nice to acknowledge people, give people props. Give props a chance. And all that.
It feels good to give too, doesn't it?
It does.
Anytime you can think about that.
Well, it feels good. Yeah, it feels good for us. That's what we're doing here now.
That's true. That's true.
Now, if this were a job, if I were doing this for some broadcaster and getting paid and had to conform to certain guidelines, I'm supposed to talk about this or not supposed to talk about that.
Are you going to wait?
Sure.
You probably get up here and might be best.
Okay. All right.
Traffic.
No problem.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Do you want to? I'll just leave this sound bag right here.
Okay. I'll take it. Thanks. Yeah. Like I said, I've got no gun to my head. We got no gun to our head here. We don't have to say or do anything that we don't want to. And if we want to put together an episode of the show that's an hour and a half long, that's our prerogative. If we want to do one that's 40 minutes long, that's our prerogative as well. Really? Well, you better get in it. Yeah. So, yeah, as I said, it can't be underestimated. And part of what's making me say that, a big reason why I'm saying that, is because the guys last night, as they were listening to my music and so on, were really, really liking it and very, very much letting me know so. And, it's something that it kind of makes you a little uncomfortable in a way, but it's a good uncomfortable, I'm certainly not used to it. I'm certainly not used to, not many of us are, really, used to a lot of good stuff. Usually it's kind of nothing, whole lot of nothing. Every now and again, some kind of a negative thing, and every now and again, a little sort of good thing. But a real full-on frontal thumbs up. Doesn't really come along that often, and when it does, it feels very good. So that's why I'm telling you all that it's a good thing to do. Don't be bashful. Don't be shy. Just go up to that person and just tell them, hey, I think you do a great job at that, whatever it is, that cooking or that carpentry or that music or whatever the heck it is. Just stop him on the street. Stop her on the street. And just say, hey, I just had to stop you. I won't hold you up. I really wanted you to know that I respect you and your work, and I think you do a bang up job, that kind of thing. Yes, so much for that. So as I said, we're off to the festival bash, the post-festival bash at the Ship Pub this year. It's usually been, I don't know, it used to be at the Crow's Nest and a few other places. It was at the Blarney Stone, which isn't around anymore. They've tried a few different venues. I think the Ship is probably the best. I don't know. I have to think about it.
I was just walking along, and there's this guy with a microphone right in the middle of the street.
Where are you coming from?
Well, I was in there buying a Globe and Mail, and this woman was locked out, and I was letting her in, and I looked up, and it was her. It was her.
Well, folks, this is Arnold Bennett, and he's been on the Roar a long time ago, back for my CD launch for
But I just
came
from the festival.
Yep.
Where the high point of the evening, of the entire evening, I saw the whole evening, was the Navigators, who are terrific, doing the Rhythm of the Goat.
Oh, really? And the crowd seemed to.
They announced that this is a song by a great Newfoundland songwriter, musician named Jim Fiddler, and we're going to do the Rhythm of the Goat.
Wow!
And so they did a really nice job.
Now, the funny thing,
the car is just pulled up.
You know what I was just talking about to the listeners? I was telling them that in life, when you see someone who does a good bit of carpentry or cooks a good meal or makes good music or whatever, don't be bashful. Go over and stop them and just let them know, because sometimes we don't know these things.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Now, let me see if I can get the woman out of this car here. Hold on.
Well, gee whiz, folks. Talk about these little synchronicities and so on. We just saw Arnold and Nancy yesterday for the first time in a long time at the festival, and had a chat with them for, like I said, first time in ages. And then boom, here he is again. Or perhaps here they are again. So you just never know. You just never know when it's safe to go out. I think he's going over and checking with Nancy probably in the car. Get her to get out and say hi to myself and Lillian.
Here she comes.
Here
she comes.
Miss America.
She had to park the car.
I couldn't figure out. I said, I'm on the other side of the station. He walks out and he walks the wrong way. I said, oh my God, he doesn't remember where we're parked.
He's losing his mind.
He's losing his mind. What is going on here? And I drive down here, and what do I see? But he's talking to you.
He's getting Alzheimer's disease.
It's really. I'm like totally blown away.
Yeah. Oh, listen, Suzanne Vega from New York City. Yes.
She's calling?
No, that's her music.
Oh.
Yeah, this is the Ipod Touch that I was telling you about.
Oh, yeah, right.
That does everything under the sun, including, it has Skype on it. So for like, I don't know, $35 a year, we can call all over North America, landlines,
that's fabulous.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if there's too much it doesn't do, to be honest.
Well, Daniel bought that for my mother. Not that, but he bought a Skype phone.
Oh, okay.
Because she was living with us and she didn't have her own phone line.
You're on the air here, I guess.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's what he's doing here.
That's what I'm doing. I'm doing the show here, and you're part of it.
Oh wow, that's exciting.
So what's your website? Where can people go and find you if they want to?
Where can they go and find me? Let's see. I don't have a personal website.
See, folks, I mean, if you wanted something, well, just tell people what you do.
I do public relations work from here in St. John's, mostly for nonprofit organizations in Canada and the United States. And I have an email address.
Okay.
Which is nancy@nancybennett.info.
Okay. How many N's and T's in that Bennett?
2 N's and 2 T's.
Okay.
And 2 E's.
Yes, 2 E's too. That's right. And it's kind of like the Anglo version of Benoit.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
That's true.
So.
It's actually the Anglo version of Bennett.
Okay.
Which is the Eastern European version of Bennett.
Yeah.
Well, that's like all these, you meet Mr. Schwartz and you meet Mr. Black and you meet Mr. Noir and all that stuff.
But Benoit and Bennett and Bennett all come from the same Latin root,
yes.
Unlike Schwartz and Noir and
that's right.
Black. So
Yeah.
These are much closer.
Yeah.
Which is Benedict.
Something I found interesting, a friend of mine from Halifax, Henry Rojo or Enrique Rojo, was telling me Rojo is Spanish for red.
Red.
And he said basically when they dumped the Jews out of Spain, 800 years ago or something.
1492.
1492. Apparently a lot of them got branded with color names.
Huh.
So if you know somebody Spanish who has an odd last name, like the Spanish word for green or red or white, there's a pretty darn good chance that they're from that. As he is, yeah.
Very interesting.
It is.
Yeah. The other thing I'm doing these days is the dragon boating.
Yeah.
And if there are people interested in that, there is a website for the Avalon Dragons called avalondragonboating.com.
Okay.
And it's a wonderful sport for people who have had breast cancer. And it's very healthy for them, and it keeps them away from lymphedema, or if they have it, helps a lot. And I don't know how many of your listeners are in Newfoundland.
Actually, most of them are in the United States.
Most in the United States.
And second is Singapore, and third I think is China.
Wow.
Maybe Canada's third, I think. Almost dead neck.
If they're on the Avalon Peninsula, they go to Avalon Dragon Boating. But I think we do have links to others, and there are dragon boat teams all around the United States and Canada, and the sport originated in China. And so there are lots and lots of dragon boat teams in China.
And is this like a not-for-profit that accepts donations and so on?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, you don't even have to be able, even if you're not able to take part, and you could be... Well, actually, most of our listeners, America's number one, and almost half of our American listeners are in Texas.
Wow.
So yeah, you might live in, Austin, and you might feel like you got nothing to do. Go over, check out the website, and if you like what you see and you want to help, you can. I'm sure there's a way there. You can contact somebody.
Absolutely, yes. Yep.
I don't know where they would put a dragon boat in Austin. Barton Springs is probably too small for dragon boating.
Oh, there's bound to be someplace.
I don't know. I hear there's some places outside of Austin, like just around the periphery, some good places to go.
Maybe the best place to swim is in downtown in Barton Springs. Wonderful. Freezing cold.
I've heard so much about Austin. We've never been, but it's kind of one of those places in America that if you see, for me, I'm not post 9/11. I'm not really the whole mood. I'm not interested in. I don't want to be searched and foolishness, whatever.
Right.
I'm a bit of a rowdy anyway, a bit of a rebel, So they might nab me at the border. But Austin, anyway, is one of those places, I think, in America that a lot of people seem to speak quite glowingly of.
It's an oasis in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people have a lot of preconceived notions about Texas, as they do about Newfoundland, and they come and perhaps it's kind of, in a sense, sort of like the St. John's of what St. John's is to Newfoundland, Austin is to the rest of Texas, in a way.
Well, Austin is really like the opposite of Texas.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the only touch of civilization, and then otherwise. What was the great line about Texas? The great line about Texas, and I can't remember which American diplomat said it, but it was an American diplomat who said that Texas had gone from primitive to degenerate without passing through civilized.
Well, I'm oddly
But
enough.
you have a lot of listeners down there.
Yeah.
Until a moment ago.
No, I'd say they're absolutely, agreeing with that, because this whole civilized thing, ain't all it's cracked up to be sometimes. Democracy
Well
and all these things,
well said, Mr. Fiddler. Well said.
Too much democracy in the shitstem and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The injustice shitstem and.
It's quite a coincidence that we met up with you guys.
Yeah.
It is.
We were
Why don't you
talking
hang on
about
to
you
this for a
last night
second?
on the show, actually. We were walking down last night
Yeah.
after we saw you at the festival.
Yeah.
And then we were walking down commenting on how we met you and just a little bit about, you guys coming here from the
Yeah.
States and moving here and all
You're
that.
gonna have to listen now for sure.
Yeah.
This is so funny. Well, I was saying to Jim, I guess you weren't, no, I already said it that.
Oh, okay.
But I'm parked over here. Arnold goes in to get the paper.
Yeah.
And he's gone a long time, and then he comes out, and instead of walking toward me, he's walking the other way, and I'm thinking, what on earth? He doesn't remember where the car's parked. So I started getting really worried. I was already a little worried, And
because there's a big lineup in there.
well, yeah, but I figured there was a big lineup. But then when he turns the wrong way, I think, what has gone wrong here? And I come driving along, and then I see this. I said, oh my God, he's getting interviewed. Oh.
Well, I was going in there, and I saw sort of his face side on, and I thought, no, that can't be Arnold. I don't see him like for 5 years or something, and then you see him twice in 2 days.
It's like a plague.
Yes, a plague of locals.
Well, can we give you a lift home or anything?
No, we're just
on
going
our
to
way.
the ship, actually.
Yeah, to the
Oh,
ship.
okay.
Yes,
The
closing
post-festival
party.
bash. The annual post-festival bash.
So no matter how
It was quite a festival this year, don't you
it
think?
seems to be. I mean, we didn't spend much time there, but
Yeah.
we heard a lot about it.
Yeah.
It was packed. I mean, I have never been in a situation where, you couldn't move. There were just people front
And
and,
it was-
back. You could barely have room
It
to
was
put your
better
feet up.
organized than usual. And
Yeah.
The
Really?
sound was.
Yeah, they did better with the
controlled,
sound.
Oh, excellent.
lighting was better. Everything was better.
Excellent.
Wow.
Plus having a francophone tank.
Yeah, that's always a class.
That's my second year in the Francophone tent.
Is that right?
Yeah.
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 They always do such a great job in there. It's a great team of people that put that together.
Yeah, the Francophone Association.
Well,
Yeah.
it's cute, that little kitchen party, and they had almost like a little kitchen in the front, and
Yeah.
then they had frying pans and stuff hanging from the walls, and
all
even
the
a little
artwork.
chandelier.
Yeah, I thought that was cute.
That was very cute. It was very cute. And the
Yeah.
tile floor, and it was pretty cute for
It
a
was,
tent, to
Absolutely,
transform
yeah.
itself into a little kitchen.
It could just be a tent, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
so much
no,
more.
it was great.
Well, this is kind of like our sort of fest cast in a way. So it'll be talking to some of the people here at the post fest bash.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the various musicians, local and otherwise, with whoever we run into, and play a bit of the music. We recorded my show yesterday. Play a song from that, I guess. And if some of the artists we talk to don't mind, we'll play a cut here and there from their CDs and talk, this chat with you guys and our chat on the way down. And
Colleen Power had some really nice French songs. She was right before you and I.
Yeah.
It was really nice. Yeah.
She's been studying French for the.
Yeah, she
she's
does
finishing
an amazing
her,
job with French. Yeah. I'm surprised. I just got her the CD with the children's songs on it to give to my little granddaughters.
Uh-huh.
Great.
I hate to admit that I'm cold.
It's been cold all evening.
Oh, you're probably being outside all night.
And just sitting like that,
Oh, yeah.
Right on the ground too.
All right,
Chill.
goodbye, darling.
Okay.
Good night.
Take care.
Wow, this is a bonus seeing you again. the next day.
I'll put the speaker around you and give you a hug. Yeah.
So, yeah, give us an email and...
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you give them a card yesterday so they know where to
Yes.
find the
I
show?
did, yeah.
Okay. This one will go up now. We're kind of a couple behind. We're trying to catch up. The server will only has a quota, so yeah, you'll hear this within the week. All right. Cheers.
We're going to boogie on down the road now.
Yes.
No, we're good. Thanks.
Okay. All right. And we are still recording and still in business?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
That was what you call a quinketing.
That was a quinkening. Well,
Well, I don't know if we would call it
coincidence, whatever.
Well, just an interest. We
synchronicity.
haven't seen them in so long.
And then there they are, bang, bang, twice in a row.
Yeah.
2 days in a row. Yeah, indeed. And oddly enough, I'm just there talking about, letting people know that their music is appreciated.
Oh, yeah?
And Arnold comes over to me and he says he checked out, he was at the festival the whole evening. He said the highlight of the evening was the Navigators.
Yeah.
And they were really good and they sounded really good. And the pinnacle of it all was when they introduced a song by a particular person.
Wow.
And proceeded to bring the house down with Rhythm of the Goat.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah.
So you were there right at the, you
see,
didn't even have to be there, actually.
I was there. I was here telling the listeners that kind of thing is a good thing to do.
Yeah.
And then a person walks right up to me and does it.
That's it. You gotta love stuff like that.
See, that's not coincidences. Those are synchronous. And there's Jer Wolf.
Oh wow, Jer.
Speaking of people recording people's songs, the Navigators recording Rhythm of the Goat, and I recorded one of Jer's songs on my Midnight Rover album, The Curragh Road, and Colleen Power, who they were just talking about, sang on that with me, as well as Daryl Power, formerly of Great Big Sea. Yes. It's funny though when you see two people singing together on a song, Colleen Power, and see, it's the same last name, so we could have said Colleen and Daryl Power.
Yeah.
But that would just kind of make them seem like brothers and sisters or spouses or something like that. That's kind of interesting too, because I didn't have the two of them sing on it because they both had the same last name.
No, naturally.
Yes. Yeah, man, I can't put this song out unless I can find two people with a particular last name to sing harmonies on it.
Yeah.
You know?
You had to search long and hard.
Now, that does happen sometimes inadvertently, I think. If you want, the Everly Brothers to sing on your record, one just ain't gonna cut it.
No.
You pretty much have to get them both,
The Everly brother.
Yeah, Ann Everly Brother.
Yeah.
Backing vocals by Ann Everly Brother.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yes, it is festival weekend, and there's a kind of a little unfortunate thing here because there's a sort of in amongst all the celebration and the music and seeing all the people maybe that you've run into that you haven't seen for a long time, there's this kind of sunken feeling in the back of your mind that it's all just about to be over, and not just the festival, but you've got maybe a few weeks left to do those little things that you do in the summertime, go camping or take a trip or whatever, but very much the feeling that everything is winding down is in the back of your mind. And,
I was thinking that today, actually, for the first time, just the thought, but I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, around here in St. John's, people say, the regatta denotes the end. This is it. This is the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
And that was just last week. So
people have been saying that ever since I can remember. After the regatta, it's all over, all downhill.
Yeah, I think I'm being optimistic by making that start point a little later, as in, post-festival as opposed to post-regatta.
Yeah.
I'm just being an optimist. Last night, yes. I was having a chat with somebody, and somebody was asking me about something or other to do with life in general. And I was waxing philosophical, I suppose. Whatever. I don't really philosophy in and of itself is, I've talked about that before. It's a little bit of pseudo-intellectual tail chasing quite often, but seeking the truth and what it is, and whatever you believe or your opinion about a thing doesn't change the thing itself. I've talked about that before. But anyway, yeah, just for the sake of description, I'll say I was waxing philosophical, and the person was assuming that I was an optimist. And I'm neither an optimist nor a pessimist, because I find, you can't, I think if you don't do nothing, you won't get nothing done. So just wishing for something, and that's where the word belief comes from, an old English word, leaf, which means to wish. That's connected with, you can stand in the middle of the road and hope to not get, or lie on the train tracks and hope to not get run over by a train, but you'll maximize your chances of not getting hit by a train if you just don't go on the tracks, that kind of thing. Pessimism, on the other hand, is not very useful, and in many cases you kind of create this self-fulfilling prophecy. Things aren't going to go right. You think they're not going to go right, so you ultimately end up making them not go right. So what's more important is that other thing I've talked about in the past, the knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. Knowledge is just the information. Understanding is taking that information and putting it through its paces. And wisdom is being able to self-observe and learn what methods worked and which ones didn't, and doing the thing that works the proper way to accomplish whatever your goal is. I mean, maybe there's a better way of putting that in a nutshell, but it's knowing some information, trying it out, and when you know how to best do it, doing it. That's the wisdom. So anyway, this person was being a little bit long-winded here. This person was assuming that I was an optimist. Glass half empty, glass half full. And I guess, saying that, or assuming that I was a glass half full person. And I said, well, it doesn't really matter, does it? It doesn't change what's in the glass. My slant on that is, whatever's in the glass, half empty or half full, get that in you so you can go get another one. That was my little observation last night. So how close are we getting to the to the destination?
5 minutes? 5 or 7 minutes, something like that.
Okay, folks.
We're taking a different route tonight.
Oh, smell that? It smells like something's on fire.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's definitely something burning.
Yeah.
Wood burning. Oh, there isn't a fire somewhere. Especially not at the ship.
Yeah, especially.
Yeah. So do you have anything to say for yourself as closing remarks for this little segment before we arrive at the ship?
Well, just big hugs to everybody.
Good lad.
Good lad.
Yes.
I have no idea. I'm just very grateful that you're all listening, and hope you're enjoying the show, and I hope that we have some more good people to talk to tonight and share with you.
Yeah, more good people. We've had good people to talk to already.
Yeah.
In the persons of Arnold and Nancy Bennett.
Yes.
And all joking aside, folks, if you need some public relations done along the lines of what she was describing, she's top drawer, so don't hesitate to get in touch with her. She gave her email address. Yeah. Nancy at nancybennett.info.
She's done some pretty impressive work.
Both of them have.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we're big.
Sure have.
I think we're all four of us big kind of mutual fans. We have that. We're members of the same mutual respect club.
Yeah, which is great.
I think.
It's gotta be like.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and of course Arnold did that film Messiah from Montreal, in which I
Where's Dave?
In which I actually ended up, I was music director, so there was that whole thing behind the scenes, but I actually pop up in the thing as Messiah, so
yeah,
that's very interesting.
That's an excellent role to have, I think.
I think, is there a Messiah from Montreal.com? Does that exist? I think so.
There used to be. I would imagine it's still there. I would check it out.
So you might want to check that out.
I think I did the website if it's still the same one.
Okay. And if you want to see that film, I'm sure it's available through the website there. And it's quite interesting. There's some very good stuff in the film. The film is about A.M. Klein, the poet from Montreal, and it's called The Failure. And you might think, that's a odd name for a film that's supposed to be, I guess, not just objectively taking a look at a person, but exalting them. Doing, again, exactly what I was talking about before. Giving somebody their just, desserts, giving credit where credit is due, kind of thing. And so there's all kinds of stuff in there, all kinds of great music and various people. I wouldn't want to try to remember now everyone was in there because I'd leave people out.
Yeah, there are a lot of, the whole music scene and acting scene, a lot of the local artists were in that for sure.
Yeah, and Leonard Cohen contributed a song, so I can actually say that I was Leonard Cohen's music director.
Yes.
So, that's pretty much it. So, yes, Nancy and Arnold, who I'm sure are listening right now, just want to tell you guys that we appreciated running into you guys again, and hope all is well, and that we don't go 4 or 5 years without seeing you again.
Yeah, really. Maybe this is like a new kind of... I'm tongue-tied tonight.
You're a tongue-tied mopsy? She's a tongue-tied mopsy tonight.
I can't remember the word I'm looking for. Anyway, I hope we see you both again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. So, folks, that's it for this little segment, the walking portion of the show, with the tongue-tied mopsy. And hopefully her tongue will loosen up a bit now shortly, and she'll be able to talk with some of my fellow music artists. Just for you guys. We'll get it on for you. Because that's what we do here at the Roar. We get it on for you, the Roar Corps.
Yeah, the Roar Corps, absolutely.
Yeah.
You
All right.
are the Roar Corps.
Indeed. All right, folks, we'll catch you on the other side.
Okay, bye-bye. See you on the other side.
Hi, I'm Bob McDonald, the science guy from CBC's Quirks and Quarks, and you're listening to the Republic of Avalon Radio.
Seems to be inviting me. I don't wanna go to no war party. Everybody seems to be inviting.
Hi, this is Eddie Grant, and you're listening to the Republic of Avalon Radio. Take your time.
Everybody seems to be inviting me, but I don't wanna go to no war party. Republic of Avalon Radio.
Either you're with us or you're with the terrorists.
You're with the Roar!
You are indeed still with the Roar, and I am indeed still Jim Fiddler. Hope you enjoyed that little bit of walkabout with us. It was really nice running into Arnold and Nancy. And now we are going to take you on to the fun and frolics at the Ship Pub in St. John's, in the heart of the Republic of Avalon, where we ran into a few people, and we will bring them to you, as we tend to do. And we will just start things off here now with Lillian having a wee chat with Danette Eddy, and we join the conversation already in progress. Enjoy.
I asked to interview him.
Oh, really? Oh, that's right. I
Yeah,
remember that.
that's how I met him.
Yes.
Because I was like doing ethnography. I think it's called ethnography or something like that. In my ethnomusicology course, which I actually went on and did my master's in, and they was like, you have to do it on one person. And I was like, I want to do it on Jim Fiddler, because that's very interesting.
So where is that now?
Nice.
God knows, Jim.
Was it an audio thing or a written thing?
It was audio. No, it wasn't music based, really. It was like talking based, more so like. But that's how I met him, because I
remember
introduced
that.
myself. And actually, by doing the masters and all that, I knew a lot of people, but I never really sat down and talked with them, like with Kelly Russell and Christina Smith, Anita Best, Clyde Rose, Pat Byrne. How many people did I sit down with and just have a chat with? And it was the best way to meet people.
Are you recording?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, good.
I actually, when you started to talk about that, I thought I would turn on, start
God.
recording, but now I'm going to introduce you. But I had to get that. That was
this person that you've been hearing speaking here
It's crazy.
is none other than the inevitable,
fantastic,
the lovely, the talented.
No.
All and more.
The fat. 300 pound.
She's a stick.
Dimply.
She's lying. She's
From
lying.
Newfoundland.
And
And we keep it clean on the show, by the way. So
Okay, sorry.
Watch your P's and Q's.
Children are home.
So Danette is home from, well, she's from here, but she's home from Ireland.
Yes.
You moved there how long ago?
In 2001, I moved over. Yeah.
Didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah.
Whereabouts are you living in Ireland?
Well, when I first moved over, I moved to Limerick.
The stabbing
Stab
capital.
City.
Yeah.
I didn't tell my mother that.
No, I guess not.
And I studied ethnomusicology, master's in University of Limerick, and I did that and completed that. It was a one-year taught master program, and I did it on Rufus Skinchard, based solely on a tune that he played. I don't think he composed. And then I got a job in Ennis, so I stayed in Limerick, living in Limerick, and commuted to Ennis. And then eventually we moved to Ennis to accommodate my job. And then my husband got a job in Galway, so we moved to Galway, and I commuted to Ennis.
Galway's
and then
nice, eh?
Galway was beautiful.
Yeah.
We actually bought a house in Galway, and yeah, big commitment.
Nice.
But we decided we didn't want to live in this. I guess it's a city. We didn't want to live there, so we moved more in the country
Where
of
the girls
Galway.
are so pretty.
That's debatable.
Not all 300
You're
pound.
blind.
Not all 300 pound and pock faced. Yeah.
They think I have nice teeth in Ireland.
I thought you were going to say something else.
Nice teeth, yeah.
You haven't seen the girls in Galway.
Nice teeth, shame a better face.
That's an interesting compliment to get.
Yeah, you got nice teeth. Okay, compared to the Irish women. Yeah.
So.
What kind of toothpaste do they use in Ireland?
No fluoride, obviously.
What is their dentifrice?
They don't go to the dentist.
Oh, well, that's fluoride stuff, boy. You don't want to.
No, that's.
You don't want to be
bad
messing
stuff.
with that anyway. That's bad stuff.
It is.
It's a neurotoxin. Anyway.
Je pense que vous étiez parti.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
So I just want to tell our listeners a little bit about your background.
Okay.
Yeah, Danette, ever since I can remember, anyway, you have been a musician. Probably ever since you can remember, too.
Probably. Well, I started off when I was 6, playing the violin, and I've been playing it ever since. And by the time I was probably 10, I was playing the folk festival stage, which was not only for adults, as it is now, which they designated a child stage later on. But when I was performing in the folk festival stage, it was
you were on the big stage.
Very few children, myself and Pat Moran.
Wow.
He was also playing, and the Anna sisters would have been little girls.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So probably about 10 years old, I started off with the folk festival stage.
Wow. That's that must be like your an appendage. It must be like another part of your body. It's it's, I mean, really, I don't know what that's like, but, you know, to have something that, I mean, it would be so normal for you, like us using utensils.
Well, it's a beautiful thing, but then a daunting thing because, you know, you got things come in your life that interfere with your career, like children and marriage and mortgages and stuff like that. That comes in your life, and you got to grow up, and you got to start paying student loans. And
exactly. That does interfere with creativity, doesn't it, for sure? Yeah,
definitely.
I've seen, you know, I mean, especially, you know, musicians are actually the poorest paid people usually, unless you know, get into some bigger sort of.
Well, there's different venues that you can go. You know, unless you make it big. Recording-wise, which is hard nowadays with YouTube and you know, everybody's got a CD nowadays.
Yeah, that's right. It is. So it is. It's very difficult to make a living from it.
And you put yourself in debt.
Yeah.
When you have a CD, like I had two. I actually had two when I left Newfoundland, and I enjoyed totally making two of them, and then I had my 2 student loans for my 2 degrees on top of me when I was 25.
Wow.
It's a big debt.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Well, Jim is lucky that way because, you know, he has his own studio, and he's never put himself into debt, like acquiring equipment either. He's always made it a rule for himself to, like, only get it when he has the money. You know, when he has that, so he'll buy an extra piece of equipment. So now, like, all of his recording equipment is entirely owned by him. So when he does an album, he doesn't. The only expense we have is the manufacturing. And of course, we've got the graphic design too. We can do that. So.
Well, also Jim is extremely talented, and he plays like 10 million instruments.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I only play one. And not that great, and then Jim plays like 15. Brilliant. Violin, you always, I mean, you can't put out a CD of just violin.
No, that's
or
right.
fiddle.
Exactly,
like, you got to have guitar, bass, drums, you got to support all those people.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Well,
it's a very daunting task when you take on people.
Absolutely. Well, you guys were talking about the possibility of doing something together, which I think, if you did that,
I'd have to practice.
It would really help you. It would help you shine too, I think, in your violin.
Jesus, I would love it.
For sure. Yeah. I hope you guys do that.
Somebody in St. Pierre has to give us a house.
I would pay to play with Jim. Well, the reason I met Jim is because I did a paper on Jim years ago, and I knew of this blind, fabulous musician that played all these instruments, and I thought it was the greatest paper when other people were doing papers on, I don't know who they were doing papers on, but it didn't seem as fabulous as you had, what I could make access. And so I just called him up and I said, Jim, you might have heard me, but I play the violin, a fiddle, and I would love to do a paper on you. And we sat down one day in his house. I can't remember. It's close to the
Warbury Street.
Yes.
Yes. I was there too, somewhere lurking in the background.
No, you weren't home.
Oh, no.
No, I remember there was no one home. It was just him, and I just sat down. And it was my first interview I actually done with a musician, and I actually love doing interviews like that with musicians. Just ask, being a musician. Because a lot of time you interview people, and they're not musicians. It's just like I knew what to ask him and things like that, and then it continued on from that. Because when I did that was just in my bachelor's, and then that encouraged me. That paper I used to get into my next degree, which was my master's, and I continued interviewing people about music and things like that after that.
Maybe you should do a podcast. You could. And just do the audio interview. We were just talking about that yesterday, about a musician interviewing a musician, because Jim interviewed Eric Bogle when he was here.
Yes.
And we listened to it a couple of nights ago. It was done like 2 years ago or so, and we listened to it, and it was such a good interview because they're all musicians, 3 of them there, and it was very real conversation about music and about.
I think that is a very good situation, but it can get a little over people's heads at times.
I guess.
So I can understand people that do interviews that aren't musicians at the same time.
Yeah.
Because if I was talking to Jim, maybe we would have a conversation that might be a little over the normal part. Like they'd be like, "What are they talking about?"
Well, that's true. It gets more technical. Yeah.
I might start asking him about, texture.
Oh yeah.
God knows what, and then people are like, "What is she talking about?"
Well, thank you. It's a
thank you for interviewing me.
Pleasure seeing you here tonight. I had no idea you were going to be here. So
I pop up in the most unusual places.
Good for us. Okay, we're going to go back inside now and enjoy some more libation.
Goodbye.
Okay, I'm here with Julie.
Yeah.
Julie, what's your last name?
Oh, Roberge.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I was kind of like timid to say it because I wasn't sure, but I thought that was your last name.
Yeah, Julie Roberge.
And you're involved with the Francophone Association?
Yeah, well, the Francophone Cultural Network.
Okay.
So I'm doing the communication there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were involved with the whole setup with the festival this year in the Francophone tent, which Jim played at this weekend.
Yeah, we were so happy to have you in the Francophone tent. Well, this year is my first year working for the French Cultural Network, but we had an awesome time there. The tent was full, full of people all weekend, and we had Jim, and Jim is like part of our Francophone artist for the Cultural Network. So we were really happy that again this year he said yes to sing in our French tent at the folk festival.
Ah, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, he's always honored to be to participate in anything you guys are doing because he feels like there's like a commonality, like a camaraderie, I think.
Yeah, well, he's always been there. Like I was there with the IAT concert when the big crisis happened in Haiti, and we asked Jim, like, can you? We were doing a benefit concert, and we asked Jim, can you make it for us? Just sing a little bit, and he said yes, for sure. So. Like we're trying to have a good relationship with our artists that we try to promote that because they speak in French. That's our mandate. So we build strong relation our artists, and Jim is one of us. And,
that's wonderful. It's good to be a part of that community.
Yeah, exactly. Really yeah, we have to be strong because we're not much, and we're always happy to have more. And the one we have, we keep it close, and we have always good relationship, and we are like so thankful for them to always. Be there to help us when we need them.
Well, that's great. We always find that everything that you do, like your community of people, your team, it's always class. It's a class act, you know?
Yes. Like we have a really good team with us. Like we have Xavier Georges, that is our director, and he's also an artistic director. So he has a good ideas. He's professional. He's been working in the artistic. One network, one that's artistic work. So he knows what he's doing, and he's good at it, and he always brings good stuff. And we're a good young team that with ideas, and he's open mind. So we have a good team. So good work.
It's absolutely wonderful. Like every time I go to an event that you guys have, I'm very impressed with everything, like from the hospitality and the professional and everything. It's just we love it. We really appreciate it for sure.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we try our best. We love you. We're nice, and we have the same reaction in the other way. Like people like us too. So giving.
Exactly. That's the way it works, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have does your organization have a website or?
Oh yeah,
Something
we
like that?
do. Yes, we do. Oh my God, it's a www. It's like a long. Yeah, it's really long, but it's a www francotnl.ca. So FRANCOTNL.ca/ réseau culturel RESEAUCULTUREL. That's us, yeah. Whenever if you search for Francophone, you're gonna have it in Newfoundland.
Okay,
We're
well,
there.
we'll put a link on our website to that as well.
Yes.
And so anybody that wants to know more about what's happening here,
Yes.
French culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
in
We're
Newfoundland
there.
and
Yeah.
Labrador, yeah.
Yeah, we're there.
Yeah,
So
you're
just
doing a lot. I mean, I must say, it's so great, and there's a lot of
Thanks,
people
we're
that really
working hard.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We're working hard, and we all have you guys on our back, so we appreciate it too.
Excellent.
Thank you, Liliane.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Merci.
Okay, have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
Okay, I'm here with Rob Monet.
Monet.
Monet, sorry.
Yeah. No problem.
From the French Cultural Network, and you're also a part of Julie, and well, she works with you, I guess. Julie,
Yep.
Julie and Xavier. And you were there at the festival this weekend at the Francophone tent, putting all that together. I know you do a lot of organization with that, so just.
Yeah, well, I guess technically my title would be a production coordinator, which sounds so much fancier than what I think I actually am. But I guess it's true. I basically Xavier's the creative mastermind behind it, and he deals with all the big major budgetary decisions and stuff. But once the project is kind of like decided on and underway, and he's decided what direction we're going, then he kind of gives it to me to make it happen. And then I guess I'm kind of like the next step in the line then is to actually make his idea come to pass. And so I do all the logistics and all that fun stuff behind it.
Well, actually, I got to see your work firsthand when you guys were helping out with Jim's CD launch for Revolution Time. You came in and you did some decorating in the hall there.
Yeah, actually, that one was kind of like a last minute. That was like a last minute thing. I actually
that was definitely noticed and appreciated
for
sure.
Well, thank you. I actually had no clue about that until pretty much the last minute. We were in the middle of like producing one or two other things, and he's like, "Hey, you want to do something else fun while we're at it?" He's like, "We're not busy enough. Let's do something else." He's like, "Jim's got a CD launch. We should help out with that." So I was actually very little involved with the organization of it on that one, but it was kind of a last minute, hands-on.
More part of the doing than the thinking ahead.
Well,
but it was still fun to it was cool to participate in that.
That turned out to be quite a nice night too.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, I ended up having to leave early. I can't remember why. I'm sure it had something to do.
Didn't know any better at the time.
Take care.
Merci.
À tout à l'heure.
I'm sure it had something to do with the fact me leaving early. I think it had something to do with the fact with me being engaged at the time, and I'm sure it had.
I remember.
I'll blame her anyway. I'm not sure if that's why I left early, but actually it is.
That's a good
I think
excuse,
correctly.
yeah.
But
Well, anyway,
I heard it ended really great.
It was a great night, yeah. And I've seen you we've worked together a little bit. We all have.
There's a Haiti benefit.
Yeah, exactly. So we've gotten to know.
And that was a nutty setup. Think about that, with the gym on one side and the space on the other, and all that.
Yeah,
I felt
Sebastian.
Seriously, when I saw that on paper or on virtual paper in an email, I was sitting back thinking to myself,
"What the
maybe
hell?
these guys need some help."
Well, Sebastian Gagnon, the sound tech that did it
worked
he
fine.
is good. I always give him a hard time and tell him that he's a lousy technician and everything, but he's actually great. He made a double open, like a stage open on two sides, with one side on a theater, one side on a gym. He made it sound good on both sides.
That's incredible.
He's good.
It's doable, but I didn't know. This is further testimony for him. I had no idea who you could afford or who you had or who you knew or anything. I had no idea who was taking. But like I said, on paper, it was like, maybe these guys need some help.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I remember talking to you about that. I remember the phone conversation where you were like, more and more as we talked, I was like, I could sense this, like, okay, do these guys know what they're getting into? Like, this is, like, are you aware of how
Yeah.
And then when I told you, well, he's done this venue like a ton of
Yeah,
times,
as soon as you
then
told
you
me
were
that,
like, okay, yeah,
good,
all right.
so he knows the room. Good,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
But
because in a bad scenario, it would only take him once to figure out this ain't the place to do whatever.
Yeah. And you
if
don't want to be doing that.
And if he's done it before, unless he's a complete dunce, then chances are okay, good, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's all I need to hear though. That this he said this guy's good and he's done this room several times.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody good? Go. Well, you hire someone to make sound in a room, but if the room is really bad and the setup just makes no sense.
Well, a gym is like
gym is really
a gym is
bad.
bad. It's
For
hard
sure.
to make sound.
And then on top of that, let's have what's on the other side of the stage.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess the advantage that you guys have is that you can set up there anytime. You're always set up, so you have time to like figure out.
Oh
the
yeah,
room.
he was in ahead of time,
and
rang out the room and all that.
Yeah, he probably
for
is.
sure.
And the theater side of it actually really has a good sound. Like you could almost record an album in there. Like the theater itself has really good
Conquistador, your
acoustics.
stallion stands in need of company. That was recorded live, like at a venue in an auditorium in Vancouver.
Okay.
Wow.
You know that song?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the guys came over from the UK and recorded live with the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra, a rock band, Procol Harum.
Right.
Came over from the UK and recorded an album live with the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra, and one of the songs is that one. Conquistador, your stallion stands, boom, 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 in need of company. Boom, 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 It's great, yeah. Supertramp, Moody Blues, Procol Harum. Let's go. Allons-y.
Okay, well.
That's gone.
I think we're gonna head back inside.
We have to get back to the beer. we got our own little thing going on out here, and as soon as we go in there, we break it all up again.
Yeah.
I know.
But
Thank
you never
you.
know what was
No
started.
problem.
Thank you, and welcome to Republic of Avalon Radio.
Why, thank you.
Your first time. Well, have you?
You were
Hi,
recording
Mom.
that time?
Yes.
Ay. I had no idea.
Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, we're outside of the Ship Pub here now, and we've seen a few familiar faces so far, and these are the first ones actually. Don Chirac and his son Tom, and Don has been back here time and time again. 7 times, wow. And where are you from?
Great Bend, Kansas.
Kansas, all right, okay. So anyway, you come up here every year, and we've gotten to know you over the years, and always enjoy your pictures and your dialogue and everything about what goes on here in the music business, because sometimes we actually miss a lot of it. So I get my updates from you sometimes. And so tell me about your experiences this weekend.
Well, we had the folk festival this weekend. We also got in town in time to take Annie Craze and the George Street Trad Night, and then we were here for Regatta Day, pre-festival bash on Regatta Day, and just a lot of music. That's the main reason I come to Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Of course, every other reason, the weather.
Yeah, the weather's good this year.
Well, it's always good compared to Kansas in August.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty hot.
Last Monday it was 42 Celsius there.
Wow. This is quite a
Compared
break
to,
then. Wow.
So even your worst day here is nice.
So Tom, this being your first time here, what was your impression of the festival?
Well, I've known the music, just it's all been brought back to me, so it's kind of an interesting feeling to know all the tunes and then suddenly see thousands of people that know them and not be some obscure stuff that's in the back of my head, like most of these tunes are for me.
Oh, sure. And any highlights that you want to kind of mention?
I wasn't at the right age to be interested in Wonderful Grand Band, but had a lot of. It's good to see them and kind of get reacquainted with that.
So we arrange it, and we were both glad to see a band that we've both seen before. I've seen twice, he's seen once. And that was Vishten. Vishten was at the festival on Friday.
Acadians from Prince Edward Island and Îles de Magdalene.
And you don't get too many people from the Magdalene Islands.
Well, that's interesting this year too, and I think every year they're bringing more people from other places, which is actually quite nice for us here. It's because we don't get a lot of people coming here and playing and especially when it's so accessible, just at the festival.
And pockmarks all over your face.
Excellent. Well, it was really good. It's always good to see you. It's always good to see you come back, and I'm sure everybody knows you here now. So. Are you guys are heading inside?
Oh, sometimes.
Yeah.
Usually, I'm out here smoking more than.
Yeah, that's true. You're still doing that.
Yeah. And you know what I smoke? The pipe.
Exactly.
Which is getting to be distinctive around here.
Yeah.
I had someone in front of Erin's the other day stop by and say, you'd hardly see them anymore. I only know one person who smokes. And I said, Toby? And he said, yes.
Yes, exactly. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you both, and enjoy your evening. We'll probably see you on the inside.
Republic of Avalon Radio.
Radio for the chipmunk in you.
You're with the roar!
So, I'm with Arthur O'Brien outside of the Ship Pub, and Arthur, welcome to Republic of Avalon Radio.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
You've been here before.
I have. Was it probably 2 years ago now, nearly?
Yeah.
Around that?
Yeah. So I haven't really talked to you about what you've been doing and stuff, but I know you were playing at the festival tonight.
We were.
Yeah.
It was great night, great weather.
We heard on the way down. It was
big crowd. Everybody was.
We heard you guys were actually kind of the pinnacle of the evening.
We were in the right. We were in the right time slot.
Yeah.
It's when everybody's kind of at their. Yeah. As soon as I said it to my manager, so we're playing at like 10 to 10. He's like, that's the best time.
Yeah.
That's when everybody's there. Everybody's kind of.
And everybody wants to take in, the end of the show or the end of the festival kind of thing. So you were on before.
The Irish Descendants.
Oh, okay.
My big brother.
Wow, imagine that.
Yeah, it's cool because two of us got to do a show together, and we don't do many like that.
No, for sure.
I can't remember a festival I've done with Cotton in years, really.
You're brothers, but you probably don't even see each other all that much.
We do because we actually do play together. We play on Sunday nights just for a bit of fun, when we're both home.
Oh, that's good.
And so we could kind of, because we kind of grew up together, playing together and learning together. So, it's pretty natural for us to play together. But, just as our two separate bands have never really done very much together. He's 20 years together. We're 10 years this year. He's 20 years this year, and I can probably think of only a handful of shows we've ever done with him, which is, this is this is a pinnacle for us, just to be with him on this festival, because this is the festival that kind of got us, got everybody, a lot of people here into what this, what the Celtic music has become.
For sure. Our friend, everybody's your friend too, probably, Danette Eddy. You know Danette?
Yes, just saw her tonight.
She was, I think she's been there right from the start, as a little girl playing at the festival.
Well, even Fred who plays with me, when he was 12, 13, he was on the festival, and I remember as a child going with my parents to see Wonderful Grand Band, Figgy Duff, Pat and Joe Byrne, and we were kind of steeped on it at an early age before I was ever a musician, we really kind of dragged there as a child more than anything, it's what my dad is an accordion player, and he was very much into folk music and into festivals like this, and we got to see a lot of them as children, and now that I'm growing up and a man, I'm playing all these same festivals, and and what's wonderful is that some of them, some have kind of gone by the wayside, but many festivals are still existing, like here in Newfoundland, like in Fairyland, for example, the Shamrock Festival. I remember going to that as a really small little boy. When the first couple of years you were getting it on the go, and here it's 25 years later, and it's it's blossomed into a a very strong festival for the area. And of course St. John's is beyond anyone's
It's really skyrocketed, hasn't it? It's pretty amazing. I heard a lot of good comments about this year's festival in particular, like the organization and the upgrades that they've done.
Well, we've done it before with the Navigators. We did it, I think, maybe I'll say 2000, maybe the first year we were together, maybe the second year, and you could tell that it's more and more professional.
Right.
I mean, that was probably the last time I was there, but you don't want. It's nice. It hasn't changed either. It still felt like the same thing it's always been for me. And even the configuration of the field is the same, so which is nice. You don't want to
familiarity.
Familiarity. Who wants drastic changes? I mean, I remember going to that festival when it was, I believe, a Kitty Vitty or a Kitty Vitty Lake. The first couple of years I got to go. I remember, never forget seeing Jamie Schneider play the fiddle, who's here tonight, with wonderful grand band, which made me fall in love with the violin. And it's like, it did change there for 1 or 2 years, whatever it was in the beginning, but now it's like it's become a mainstay.
For sure. Well, we were walking down here tonight, and we stopped at the store, and went into the store. We saw a friend of ours, Arnold Bennett, who we haven't seen in years, but we met up with him at the festival, and we just happened to run into him again tonight. So the first thing he says is that they just came from the festival and they saw the Navigators play, and he said it was an excellent show, and that you did Rhythm of the Goat, which is Jim's song.
We pointed Jim out.
He said that.
We singled him out.
He said that. So that was wicked that you did that.
Well, songs always ended every show. I won't say every show, won't say ended every show, but it's a song almost never gets missed in a show for us. It's a signature hymn for us, in a lot of ways.
Great.
And we kind of mix it with another song, and it's on its evolved too. For us, it's all it's changed over the years. It's not the exact same way as it was 10 years ago. Because it's one of the handful that we've been doing right from the start. There's probably only. Tonight in the show, there's probably 5 songs that we've been doing pretty much every show since day one.
Right.
And then the rest of it always kind of changes up. So out of, 12, 13 songs, we keep kind of certain standards that, it's hard for us not to play the Rhythm of the Goat.
It's a crowd pleaser, isn't it?
There'd be like, the few that we probably haven't done of that have gotten flat, It's like,
really?
You didn't do my favorite song. It's definitely, for us, one of 2, 3 of the main favorite songs of our audience.
Well, that's fantastic, and it's great for Jim too, because it keeps the music alive. I mean, because he doesn't have a group now that's doing that, that song. He plays it solo once in a while, but to have a band.
I do it solo all the time. When I'm by myself, I always do Rhythm of the Goat. I had to learn it because Fred lost his voice at a show one time. So it was like.
Okay.
I gotta get the song out, and I've been singing it ever since, It's like,
great.
I was listening to Gypsy when I said, "Oh, that's a perfect song for us to sing." That's like,
I think you're spot on there.
Totally, especially for Fred. It's like, he's got, bar player, and like there's one spot where Jim says, I took out my bar and I began to play, and always in my mind I've always been like, you got to stop and play the bar there, and I began to play. And that's it. Everything got to kind of stop. He's going to play.
Right, yeah.
And we started doing that probably in the last 2 years with the band. It's like we stop and Fred just plays the bar. And it's like that's what the song's about. It's what the, it's about that instrument. It's about and there's a real. I love how he captured it.
It's got a story behind it.
Yeah, it's a good story. I mean, it's one of those night downtown stories, but it's like. It captures who we are.
It's about being a musician, I guess, really, isn't it?
We're always proud to say it. Always. And always point out that it's Jim's song, and, it's a great songwriter. I'm never sure where Jim's from. I don't want to say Conception Bay. I don't know if he's...
You could say that.
I can't say Conception Bay?
You could
because
definitely
Fred always changed it, right? Down in Bjorn Bay. He always changed it.
Yeah, that's okay. Anyway, I just thank you, because I'm
welcome.
glad I caught you before you left.
I know. I got an early week. We're on the way to France We're playing in France on
nice.
in Lorient at the Festival Interceltic de Lorient on this Friday, which will be the I guess the 15th of August, and it's a pretty cool festival.
Wow.
It's not as far away as we've been. You know, it's funny. You know, so you tell people you're going to Lorient in France, and they're like, "Oh, you're going to France?" But we've been traveling across Canada for the last 6 months, and that's way farther than going to France. You know, you go to you're in Alberta last week or 2 weeks ago, and it's like. You know, France would be a kind of a little shorter run for us.
Definitely,
You know.
across the pond. As you say.
Across the pond. There's nothing from here. You know, really, it's only 4.5 hours. That's just past Toronto for
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah. And you don't have all these stopping.
Yeah, exactly.
All that
stuff.
Well, thank you.
You're very welcome, Lillian.
And
Thank
good
you.
luck on your trip.
I appreciate it. And good luck to you and with the show. And
Thank you.
I can't wait to tune in and hear this interview.
Okay, cool.
All the best.
All right, so that wraps up episode 96 of Republic of Avalon Radio. 100 looming. Don't forget, September 30th, 8:30 p.m., Erin's Pub, the 100th episode celebration. We will be recording the show live. Come and be a part of it. Bring your friends. Tell all your friends. Tell the whole bunch. And in the meantime, from Lillian and myself, take care of each other, and we'll catch you next time right here on Republic of Avalon Radio.
A Root Cellar production.